Hi guys, and welcome back to another Scribble Groove video. Now, I don't do this type of content style much, but today I really need to talk about the current state of Fall Guys. Cause man, following this game for the past year has certainly been a roller coaster of emotions. Like I genuinely can't tell if the game is cooked in this future, or if it will end up being fine, and this has all been a lot of overreacting and misconception. But one thing's for certain, 2025 has practically been like the worst year for Fall Guys, and the game is definitely in the worst state it's ever been in. The community has been in a doom and gloom mood, with many people being very negative about the game. Lots of people are like taking long breaks or are just full on quitting the game, and there definitely has been a larger amount of toxicity cesspooling up in the community more than usual. And I can't blame them for acting this way, for the most part, as there are many factors that make the game feel like it's on life support. With all this, I can't tell at all what the future of Fall Guys will look like going into 2026. Well, I'm still somewhat optimistic that the game can recover and things will end up better in the future. At the same time, I'm mostly scared of Fall Guys. That's why today I just want to yap to you all the current state of the game, why it is the way it is, and what lays ahead for the game. Because man, I really need to yap about this. There's not even really much of a script to this video. All I have notes of what I need to talk about in the video. Most of what I have to say outside of the intro and outro is all unscripted. Plus, it's faster to get the video out this way, as writing a script will make the video making process take longer, and it's just better just get this out as soon as possible. So yeah, let's just get into the video. Well, before I talk about like the current game, it's probably best to talk about just how we got here in general. Now, 2025 was an okay year for Fall Guys at first. It was kind of similar to 2024, I guess. It was like things could have been going worse, but the game definitely wasn't in the best spot. Like the updates were still decent. There was like the Fallen Fantasy update that gave us new music and some cool stuff, but definitely left a lot to be desired. There was also the ranked update along with the new the Wilderness Fame Pass. I forgot what the name of it was called exactly, but that was pretty interesting. And there's also the Tropical Tides updates, the Tropics update, and like the updates this year at first weren't bad. It just felt like they were just lacking some stuff. Especially like it also did help with like 2025. Not really much was being added to creative outside of like background and like decorations. Like when it comes to like actual gameplay mechanics and features, not much was added. Like I think the most recent gameplay addition was in the Tropical Tides update, where like a linear movement controller, which allowed for like, up and down and left and right platforms, which is nice, but definitely have gotten a lot more. But overall, again, like I mentioned, the game definitely had its fair share of issues, but it wasn't in like, the worst spot ever, I feel like. But then the Slime Factory update came out, and then, like I mentioned, the game was already not doing great. Like again, like the Metropolis update, like people we're starting to like slowly like the updates less and less. Tropical Time is actually like probably the best update of 2025, I want to say. Well, definitely one of the best updates. Most people seem to like it, and definitely had like a bit more context there. So people were optimistic, and people were looking forward to stuff like that, especially since like we needed something now. It's like after a ranked knockout, because in ranked knockout, yeah, we did promise a lot to be added to the game and hopefully maybe help revive the game, but did not do that at all. Ranked and honestly kind of being. I just ended up just kind of being let down in general. I won't really just go into this too much, but yeah, like ranked, yeah, kind of, like I mentioned, yeah, being a letdown. Like while I think it's still a fine way to play the game, yeah, definitely just could have been so much more to it. And, like, yeah, it just I don't think it ended up paying the way me and Sonic wanted it to. Anyways, the Slime Factory update. Then the update actually came out, and it was pretty disastrous. It like added very little. It unvaulted a few variations, new crown ranks were added, and again, this still did add some stuff. But the update was very lackluster, mainly because we got no new Mediatonic made creative levels. There's nothing to creative in general. Not even like a Slime Factory theme, especially since a lot of people were like looking forward to it. I think there was even like surveys with people asking from that theme. There was a Fame Pass and some other stuff. Again, it was like very lackluster update, and people were kind of concerned it just didn't add much, and Mediatonic didn't really have a lot. Maybe they weren't very clear about it. It was a mess. Not the best time. Some people even not even wanted to call it an update because of how little it added. Like, yeah, it was just yeah, I don't know. It was not that great. But the main reason why it set a bad precedent for the future is because of something in the files, and I feel that gets its own section of the video. But I just want to mention that another reason why it didn't have this case, because people figured like maybe this is just like a one update. Maybe people Fall Guys was cooking something big in the next update, and it'll be fine. It's just like a one-time. Then we got the most recent November 24 update, the Arctic Adventures Fame Pass, which added even less and barely even much of that. We got the rest of Unity levels outside of Sweet Thieves and also got involved too, which is cool. Although Fall Guys really didn't work to like make sure the levels were good to go in the first place. So yeah, it's just like if we're doing a better job of that, and just like overall, like again, like pretty much that new Fame Pass. That's really about it. No new creative things. Just like again, nothing really new in the update in general, which is very concerning. And I felt even less like an update on the Sane factor. And then the biggest concern from these updates isn't even just like content that was added. And obviously, it already sets like scare percent for the game. Honestly, like these updates barely added anything. They're just doing cosmetics and like minor gameplay stuff. But like the biggest concern was when you look into the files of the game. So yeah, there were honestly big concerns, mainly from the Sound Factory update, but I feel like the Antarctic Adventures update honestly kind of confirmed these fears. But yeah, in the files, Fall Guys added a ton of cosmetics. Normally they add a lot of cosmetics into the files, like each update, but this update, they added a lot more, like, and some of them were kind of interesting, like some Halloween and Christmas stuff, which made sense. They're coming not too far away, and like, there's definitely a lot of cosmetics, but there was also a lot of cosmetics that were predicting full-on fame passes, like literally full-on, like, normally we got some like cosmetics that like hint at upcoming future fame passes, but we got like freaking like 4 or 5 fame passes that were predicted, and a bunch of like ranked emoticons too, like up to cycle 8, I'm pretty sure. And the most concerning thing is also Easter stuff in the files, as well as freaking the 6th anniversary nameplates, and the game just celebrated its 5th anniversary like a month ago. So yeah, that's a bit concerning. With all this happening, people were lead to assume that the game was just going to go on autopilot, like pretty much getting no updates of like new cosmetics and like fame passes, and just kind of like ranked cycles, maybe some occasional events here and there, and then the game will like slowly die out and maybe even eventually shut down in the future. And this is how the Fall Guys is just going to end up being. Like, if it's no longer going to update, the game will officially be like dead. It will still be available to play, but like still be dead. Which it really sucks, man. Like, and there's definitely a very big concern. Obviously, going to autopilot or game shutting down. There's definitely some people, even some people now, still think like the game honestly, like, look, you just might get shut down. But yeah, this is not good. So autopilot mode essentially means, you know, only like a few people need to work on the game, just like adding on the cosmetics and making the new cosmetics. Very small team. Like, yeah, many times I should be kind of like abandoning Fall Guys in this way. And no, this is before like some other stuff. I mentioned this video about like, the future about Fall Guys. So yeah, that was already pretty concerning. That's what people are somewhat concerning about. And that's why it was very doom and gloom new. Because again, if felt like, you know, the game was like kind of shut down, like something like that. But yeah, this even with all like the new leaks and stuff that surface, which again I'll mention later in this video, I feel this honestly might really still be the case. Yeah, I'm up to see how things go, but yeah, this is pretty concerning for the future. The game might just go on autopilot. Again, we'll have to see with all the news that has happened. Again, the future is very unpredictable for Fall Guys, but what also didn't help this case back then, and still doesn't help this case now, is Yatta. They did not help at all. In fact, they probably only made things worse. So yeah, Mediatonic, they're definitely not the worst video game company out there. There's many worse companies. I feel like they still try to do care for the game, but man, they're absolutely fumbling the bag right now, bro. Like, oh my god, their communication is actual ass, bro. Like, man, they're not being apparent at all with the future of the game, bro. They're not like addressing the community's concerns like at all. It's just because they're ignoring the community at this point for the most part, which really does suck. They're like, it feels like they're trying to make it where everything seems fine, or opposite in reality, when things are less than just fine. Because like okay, so during autopilot, when the game was rumored, like when something just came out, a lot of people obviously were on Twitter complaining about it, like kind of talking about it, and Fall Guys made this tweet about how they heard our voices and they wanted to promise us what would be coming to the game. But the thing is, all the stuff they said that like they'll be working on in the future was stuff we essentially already knew was going to happen, no matter if the game was going to go on autopilot or not. For the most part, except for maybe like the unvaulting the rest of the level stuff. But even still, like, I thought that was probably going to be expected of them. And just like, yeah, it definitely sounded like honestly just essentially I feel like they were trying to tell us like, yeah, like the game is going on autopilot or like something along the lines of that, without like actually saying it directly. Because all this stuff, again, it didn't mention anything about new Mediatonic creative levels or anything like new additions to creative, just any new features to the game, just in general, just the stuff listed on the tweet you can see on the screen. New events, cosmetics, and famouses, and like and quote unquote new LTMs, although I guess like the LTMs is being cycled. But also another reason why freaking like all the LTMs for the next like year up until like 2026 were also added to the files like in the show schedule. Normally this isn't the case, which is another autopilot indicator. So yeah, they weren't even like new, just yeah, Midtown not help. And when community try to press them for more information, they freaking do like this whole thing where like pretty much like if you went on to like a Fall Guys to post on Twitter, you freaking see the damn elephant trying to get addressed because like I don't blame people. I mean, definitely was a bit annoying, but at the same time I could understand people were concerned because like they wanted Midtown to be a bit more clear. Again, they just wanted better communication just in general because Midtown is like not good at communication at all. There's like the whole like creators program incidents and but I don't even want to go into the creators program stuff because that's a whole other can of worms I do not want to mention. Izzy Torium made a good video on that. You can watch that when you get with this one, but yeah. You know, like Midtown's communication, it has not been great, and overall, it feels like they're definitely fumbling with the community right now, and definitely losing like a lot of its trust. They're not being very apparent at all with the game. It's just like it's very, very concerning right now. And like also the elephant situation was so bad. I freaking literally during pretty much like most of I forgot what this period was. I'll probably put this in the ending. But like, pretty much I think for like a solid month, and like their Twitter generally just went offline, or like their English Twitter, and on like a YouTube community posts and like Reddit, like Instagram and other stuff, they were posting announcements about like other stuff like the rank cycle and like the new Pirates of the Caribbean Club and all that, but not on Twitter because freaking I guess like the community manager over on Twitter got scared of the elephants, bro. Eventually, when they did return to Twitter, people did calm down on it, but people still wanted more communication, and like there's just still all the elephant pictures there, but like it's not as bad as before. But again, just people want more clear communication anytime. Like you're probably not watching this video, but like it needs to be clear. Like Midtown needs to be more apparent with the community, especially with like the new leaks that are surfacing. But I'll get to that in a second. Anyways, yeah, and I feel like another reason why this might be the case, why Midtown also might be fumbling, this also doesn't help that like it feels like the company is honestly kind of in shambles right now because obviously there's the layoffs from September 2023. A lot of people at Mediatonic and just Epic Games as a whole got fired and laid off, not fired, but laid off. So yeah, the team definitely shrunk consistently, and obviously Mediatonic started off as a small team. Like, with the way the game is now, it's just run by Epic. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a lot harder to like maintain the game in its current state compared to how it was in like Legacy Season 1. Yeah, it definitely really did affect how the game was going forward with like a less of a team behind it. We still got some great updates and like great stuff from the team, but it's definitely a lot harder. I feel like like the layoffs are definitely starting to kind of set into effect here, and also it feels like Epic Games buying Mediatonic. I mean, it feels like a bit of a blessing, but also now, or at least that's how it was. But now it feels more like a curse. Because it feels like Epic does not really care for Mediatonic and Fall Guys. It feels like they're not really doing much to help like save the game. And I feel like they should be trying to do this stuff because obviously they're like the parent company of Mediatonic and like the parent company of Fall Guys. I feel like they should be trying to be more responsible for this current state of the game because they're not really doing much about it. Also, how they're like making Mediatonic work on like Fortnite maps and stuff instead of like actually trying to help with the game. And I feel like this is apparent because in this most recent trailer that Mediatonic released for like all the levels being vaulted, minus the pencils released. They released like this 8-second trailer, which is just reused footage from I think like the end of your 2023 trailer or something. I forgot which trailer it was, but reused footage from a trailer and then just added like a bunch of white text saying levels unvaulted, all the levels. Yeah, it was a pretty crappy trailer. And honestly, Loki, at this point, it's essentially become a meme at Fall Guys community, like this trailer, just because of how bad it was. And it literally, I think, had a budget of $0. Like, this could be made very easily in CapCut. And, like, the text wasn't even, like, centered properly, and it's just, yeah, no, it was, yeah, you could definitely tell, I feel like the team, like, a lot of draws probably, like, very small now. They probably made a total, like, two people probably made that trailer, honestly. Yeah, and I feel like we can assume this whole situation kind of reflects that Midtown is probably not doing well as a company at the moment. And it probably makes sense why they're kind of like, why the autopilot is being kind of implied here, because it definitely will help lighten their load. It feels like not a ton of people working the game anymore. Because like obviously the layoffs, I feel like it really did kind of mess with the company. So I feel like, yeah, there's definitely the effects here starting to show, and like, it's just the whole situation. It's very scary, but I don't know what Epic's doing yet. Epic and Meetown need to like lock in. Meetown needs to listen to their community more and really make some great changes. Because like even though some of this like definitely isn't their fault, some other stuff they definitely could be handling better. And they're also like, both Meetown and Epic is like really locking on Fall Guys. And they might sort of be trying to do that, but it's kind of hard to say with these upcoming leaks about the whole Fall Guys Fortnite part, which we really should talk about. I feel like that's definitely a big part of this that hasn't been addressed yet in this video. So yeah. So yeah, people might remember back in Chapter 5, Season 3, we got a Fall Guys collab during that season, which is probably honestly the best part about that season, because like I know some people like Direct. I personally wasn't the biggest fan, and this is coming from somebody who wasn't. He was like the parents the opposite of like a sweaty person. But anyways, yeah. But the Fall Guys collab was pretty awesome. I do have to say, and obviously Fall Guys integration to UEFN was pretty cool. Well, also not like starting the original game. You know, like having its own separate thing. It's pretty cool. But it seems like Fall Guys and Fortnite kind of want to take this step further. As like, recently, I can't remember exactly when, but I think it was like pretty recently. I want to say like right before the Arctic Adventures update, but also like right definitely after the Sun Factor update for sure. These leakers were indicating that for Fortnite Chapter 7, there was a ton of stuff that was leaked. But like one of the leakers they mentioned, or actually no, a couple of the leakers they mentioned that one of the big things that like Fall Guys would be getting a full-on port of Fortnite with like a thin client that you could use to essentially allow you to like download like the Fall Guys Fortnite section without having to download like the rest anything else in Fortnite, or could download separate modes. I'm not sure if this is in the game yet, and I'm pretty sure it's only for PC if it is, but I think it will be eventually coming to consoles soon. Like the fact you can have like the main battle royale, but you could also have like a reload if you want, or you can like uninstall like something like festival or like any like modes. So stuff like that. That's kind of what like a thin client's supposed to be. So yeah, and it feels like they're trying to like kind of port the game to like Fall Guys, kind of like similar to Rocket Racing, but not really at the same time. And people got a big concern because on one hand, some people they got kind of intrigued because obviously feel like this would like save the game and bring more eyes to it. Maybe like Epic was starting to start caring for it more. This is a sign that they are caring. They're trying to like port the game to Fortnite to maybe bring more eyes on it and hopefully save the game more. So it's just like, but the only thing is though, since this is leaks and people weren't even fully confident in these leaks, people didn't really know how this is going to work. Which is like the other. And it's a big issue. Plus, most people agree that the Fall Guys X Fortnite physics are not accurate to the game whatsoever, and they're kind of crappy, not gonna lie. So that's the weakest part of the collab. Is like, well, the Fall Guys stuff was cool. The physics you definitely could get used to after a while. They aren't just on the same as Fall Guys physics, and Fall Guys physics are definitely better, even with the changes they've made. Just honestly, I feel like another thing is really good. It's just like, Fall Guys just evolved so much over time. So having it like evolve is like this port. It's interesting, but at the same time, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot, man. And again, like, we really don't know how it works. Like, and also, how would the game even be updated? Would it just be like, normal, kind of like how like the Lego modes get updated, or how like Rocket Racing got updated? Speaking of Rocket Racing, people fear that like if Epic Games are going to just go back to not really caring about Fall Guys much, and Meetown is trying to update much. What if eventually just shares the same fate as Rocket Racing, which eventually stopped getting updates because like nobody was playing it. Even I definitely played Rocket Racing more than most, but even so I didn't play it like that much. I'm mainly just more a battle royale guy when it comes to Fortnite. But anyways, regardless, it's just like it raised many questions and again didn't help at all. Fall Guys was like very apparent about it, just like yeah. And there were some teasers from like Fortnite and like Rocket Racing, and people were scared that this would confirm the leak. But something interesting happened recently. That Fortnite announced that they'll be quote unquote porting Unity games to Fortnite. This is the thing that was revealed not so long ago, and it's probably, and people assume that probably Fall Guys is one of the first is gonna like be this thing where essentially like you can like play Unity games in Fortnite, or like you can like develop Unity games like in Fortnite. It's like I still haven't read fully into it, but it's pretty interesting though. It's definitely gonna be interesting. It's gonna roll out 2026, probably for like Chapter 7. But yeah, it's kind of like Fortnite X Unity integration. More than before, it was like Unreal Engine in Fortnite, the UEFN, but now people are calling it UNFN, Unity in Fortnite. Which really shows how like much Fortnite is evolving. But again, that's its own topic for another time. We're here talking about Fall Guys. So yeah, now people are thinking, this is how Fall Guys is getting ported, not just like with the Fall Guys like Fortnite physics, but just full on like just the game itself and like the thin class on there. So again, it's like just a lack of communication. It's like all confusing on how this is gonna work, to me at least. Maybe someone could explain this better. Maybe I'm just not doing the job. This isn't supposed to be like a full-on like professional video. This is me just yapping to y'all because I really just need to get this off my mind about like the state of Fall Guys. But yeah, this is just really confusing. Again, I probably need to read more into this and do some more research on how this could work. Again, also doesn't help. Again, like all this concern about Fall Guys. Again, we really don't know what the future of the game is going to be. Yeah, that's just like that's the main reason why this game's in the worst state. Like, the updates have been very bare bones. It's getting harder and harder to keep playing the game. Like, even myself, I still find Fall Guys really fun. That's why I still play it very consistently. It's still one of my favorite video games of all time. But I do will admit it definitely can be hard at times to find a reason to keep playing, and I feel like all this autopilot stuff is definitely not helping. Just overall, it's just the game is in a very messy state right now, and again, the future is genuinely unknown. I just have to see how things go. I feel like the Unity thing is definitely going to be an important part. It's just how it's going to be handled. I guess we just need to wait for more info, but again, really obviously we don't have the info now. Plus, again, media time and lack of communication. Yeah, we said it soon. I feel like Fall Guys is probably going to be, this is in Fortnite some capacity. There's even leaks that in the upcoming 0 Hour event, which should be premiering later this week. Fall Guys is supposed to be part of the event along with a ton of other collabs, which is actually pretty cool. That'd be nice to see, because it's already fire to see Fall Guys in the Big Bang event. So, yeah. But anyways, I just need to wrap up my thoughts because this video is starting to get kind of long. I gotta get up. Yeah, I've finished my rambling. But let's move on to that final session, shall we? So overall, yeah. So I guess now you know how we got here. This is essentially a very brief summary of how Fall Guys is low-key is cooked right now. I'll be honest. And while the game might have an optimistic future, possibly, it has to try to be as optimistic as possible. At the same time, it's kind of hard to with all this stuff. In the meantime, it's not communication. Plus, the fact that the company, again, it feels like the game and the company's on life support. And just over the updates have been very lacking. It feels like people with the community are trying to leave and retire and taking long breaks and stuff. It's just man, yeah. And yeah, we don't know what the future of the game is going to be with the lack of stuff. We feel like people are going to be preparing for one Unity port, but again, it's just well, how is just we don't know how things are going to work. That's the thing. There's a lack of communication with me and Tonic, as well as obviously us not knowing about the whole Unity thing. It's just a lot, man. Just being a Fall Guys fan is very overwhelming right now. So yeah, I don't know. I feel definitely better ways to get info. I feel I probably didn't type over everything. There's definitely some stuff I could have gotten more in depth to. Probably some info I missed. If anybody knows anything else that would be integral to this video, that I should have mentioned. Please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I think that's overall just pretty much everything I want to talk about when it comes to Fall Guys. But yeah, I'm pretty scared for the game's future. I have no idea what could be coming for the game next. We'll just have to see how things go. Again, I know this wasn't the best structured video, but I just really need to yap about stuff. And again, hopefully someone has a better understanding of how the game is. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm just hoping things will work out in the end, but we'll have to see how things go. As long as the game doesn't get shut down. I'd rather have the game on autopilot and not get a Unity port and shut down. But we'll have to see how things work out. But yeah, just do your own research about some other videos in here so you can get a better understanding. But I just really want to talk about this and just share my thoughts of how I feel about this. I feel like Fall Guys in Unity it could definitely work. But at the same time, again, I feel like a lot of the game's going to get important integral updates. I feel just stick with the normal Fall Guys physics. Again, we'll have to see how things go. So it's just we're not fully aware of how Unity games and Fortnite. It's just very tricky minefield. And we'll have to see. I feel like we'll just have to wait. Here to this video is probably going to be outdated. Right? Honestly, even by the start of 2026, it's probably going to be outdated a little bit at least. So, but yeah, that's all I have to say for today's video. Hopefully, you enjoyed me yapping a whole lot about Fall Guys. I don't think it's holding up. Again, if there's anything that you would want me, anything I should know about this whole situation, or anything that I might have missed that's important, let me know in the comments below. I'll make sure to look at all the comments, especially again if it is about all of this integral thing. And I could even do a follow-up video in the future. I don't know, I'll have to see. I could definitely address it in the comments for sure. And also for people watching this, also make sure to look in the comments to see if anybody has put anything. Because I feel honestly, integral info I missed. Obviously, I feel like people should definitely know for sure. But yeah, also make sure to subscribe. You don't have to, but definitely also the video on the channel a lot. Also make sure to subscribe to Twitter, which is in the description. And also make sure to check out my other content on the channel. I feel like you might find something that you like there. That's all I have to say before I sign off. I really need to start getting this video. This video went on for a little longer than I thought. I just wanted to get my thoughts out, so yeah. Yeah, that's all I have to say before I sign off. Take care. I'll see you next video. Bye.